everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking everything weight loss. You guys asked and I answered. Let's do this. Weight loss, my weight loss journey. Plus I did a Q&A on my stories to see what was tickling your brain, what you wanted to know more about. And I'm an open book. I am happy to share. I feel that you guys are a big support system for me. I have relied on you a lot to get me through the hard days. Your motivation speaks volumes. Every comment, every push, every si se puede, every you got this girl, keep going. I don't take it lightly. I actually really value it and hold it dear to my heart. And I want to repay that. So I'm here to help you too. So all the questions you have, I'm about to answer them. Let's go. So let's get some from my Q&A. There is some really good ones in here. I'm not gonna lie. Some that I'm even kind of like, I'm even taken aback. Like it's a little deep. It gets a little deep in here, where I'm just like, damn, you guys are some deep souls, and you guys want to really know the root of everything. Let's just get right into it. I'm talking about this question that I had that said, why now? Why did you decide to start your journey now? That is a fabulous question that I have not thought through, that got my wheels turning. Why did I choose now? And obviously the first answer that comes to mind is why not? Why not now? If not now, when? I've always put it off, and I've always wanted to be my best self. I've always wanted to be my healthiest self, my most agile, to have the best mobility. I've always felt like this athleticness in me, but I never fully tapped into it. And you know, I had seen a post from a peer that turned 50 and got in her best shape, and I said, you know what, if she can do it, I can do it. I turned 40 and I said, I can't wait anymore. I have to do it now. And I did everything all at once. I ended a 20-year relationship that the last about 10 years was pretty toxic and not healthy in any means. And when I cut that cord, I decided to just start my health journey. So yeah, I guess that's the reason why I'm doing this, for me. There's so many good ones here. How do I deal with sweet cravings? I have a sweet tooth. I have a big sweet tooth. So I satisfy it in moderation. I have learned to have a healthy relationship with food. In the past, I've done a lot of like, you can't have that, you can't have this, no carbs, no bread, no sugar, no meat, go vegan. When you deprive yourself of something, you're gonna end up going back to it if you really love it, if you really love it, and you're gonna binge on it. I know that happened to me many times. So what I like to do is I like to give it to myself. If I'm craving something, I give it to myself with mindfulness, in moderation. For instance, if I'm really craving chocolate, I'll have a couple of chocolate almonds, dark chocolate almonds. I watch the calorie count. For me, the thing that's been the best is calorie counting. I cannot stress that enough. Knowing your weight, knowing how many calories you can have per day in order to lose weight or in order to maintain weight is very helpful. There are tons of tools that you can use online that can help you do that. Once you know what your calorie deficit is, you just go from there. You follow that and it will take you to your goal. So everything has calories, you know, and sweets have it too. You don't have to OD on them. For instance, after I film this, I'm gonna treat myself. I want ice cream today, okay? But I'm gonna have a couple scoops of ice cream, like little ones. I'm gonna watch the calories, maybe 150 calories worth of ice cream, not that much, just enough to get the craving gone. I have learned that you don't need to eat an entire bowl of ice cream or a whole pack of chocolate almonds. You can have a few just to you know, to give yourself that, okay? And to satisfy the craving. So that's how I do it. And I also choose like some sweets that I know are good for you. I love Barbell's protein bars. They're chocolate protein bars. They are delicious. It's like a candy bar. insane amount of protein, no added sugars, just a really, really good source of protein plus sweetness because it's chocolate. I'm a chocolate fiend, so I love it. But again, I'll have sweets every now and then. You know, when I wasn't watching my calories, I had dessert with every meal, literally. Every meal I had dessert. That's how much I like sweet. So now I have dessert, not even once a day. Like I'll have it like maybe once every 3 days. And again, it'll be small portions. Usually Saturday, Sundays are like my cheat day, like the weekends. And then I'll have like a really good dessert. But like during the week, a couple chocolate almonds, a couple spoons of ice cream, half of a cookie every here and there. Like it's not gonna hurt you. Have you noticed any changes in how you feel day to day compared to before you started? Yes. That's what motivates me the most. Not just the appearance, but my mobility. Getting into my car, standing up from the floor up, going on an airplane and feeling comfortable in a seat. Like, you know, being able to move quicker and easier. Those are all the things that I hug myself for, that I thank myself for, that I'm like, thank you for sticking to it. Thank you, because those are the things that I was the most self-conscious of. Going up the stairs, running, like all of these things that I was so self-conscious and always avoided. Now I don't have to avoid them. Now they're just second nature. I don't have to think about it anymore. It's a life changer. It really does change your life. That is the biggest reward. Mobility, being able to move freely. It is something that I will never take for granted again. Do you meal prep? I don't meal prep. I have in recent months used Every Table, which they have like meal preps that you buy already made, and I'll use that when I'm like really busy and it has all the calories on there, so it's really easy and it's very affordable. But I don't meal prep per se. Like when I cook, I'll cook and I'll have it for like a couple days, and I'll make sure like if I eat it one day, I'll eat it again the next. But I'm really picky about food. I don't like food sitting in my fridge for a long time cooked and then me eating it for like 5 days straight. That's just how I've always been. It's not a good thing, I don't think. I like my food fresh and hot. So like I have to cook it. I rather cook every day or every other day than cook once a week. I'd rather wash dishes every day and have hot, fresh food than just wash dishes once a week. Like I know some people prefer the opposite. Some people don't like a messy kitchen and they don't want to clean every day. I don't mind cleaning. I like it. I like to clean my kitchen. I like to wash dishes. I like organizing. It's like a way for me to manifest and think. And it's just like, because I have like a routine when I clean. I always have this routine. So I'm not really thinking about it while I'm cleaning. I'm kind of like on auto mode. And I'm really just manifesting, thinking of all the things I want to do, all my goals. And like, when I can do that, that's why I think I like the gym too so much, because I do the same thing, especially during cardio. I prefer just to have fresh food every other day or every day, and I just clean up the mess. Probably a dumb question, but where do you start as someone who has failed? Oh my God, that's not dumb. We've all failed. I failed many times. There's many times where I was up and then I went all the way back down. You know, in the past 5 years, from 2020 to 2025, I gained about 100 pounds on the dot. So I gained 100 pounds during that time, and I had lost over 100 in 2017. So I gained all the weight that I lost. And if you think about falling, that's a fall, you know. But I got myself back up, and now I'm here. So since September, I'm down over 75 pounds. I have weigh day on Saturday, which is a few days away. I'm hoping I can add another 5 to that count. So maybe close to 80 pounds so far since September, which is incredible. And this time I'm going for blood. I'm going for more. I want to lose obviously the 100 pounds that I gained in the last 5 years. Hopefully in the next 3 months total. So I have a goal by September to have that 100 pounds gone. But now I'm going to go beyond that. I want to lose an additional 50 after that. I'm pushing myself. I want to be in the best shape of my life. I want muscles. I want definition. I want to do a pull-up. I want to be in this motherfucker. I want to be fit as a fiddle. I want to prove to myself I can do it. I've never been fit like that. I mean, in high school, you know, you're always like your high school weight. I weighed not nearly as much as I weigh now, but I was always like a little, you know, a little thick. She was thick. She's always been thick, but I've never been fit or fit thick. You know, fit thick is good to me. I don't want to be anything I'm not supposed to be. So if I'm meant to be thick, I'll be thick, but I want to be fit thick, you know? So I'm gonna go for that. Oh, but the answer to the question is, what do you do if you fail? You get right back up. Look at me. Countless amount of fails, get right back up, get right back up. There is no better victory than the victory of getting up and saving yourself and saying, I did that. Start today. Start today. You will be so happy weeks from now, months from now, years from now that you started. And time moves quick, so it'll be here in no time. Okay. How do you stay consistent? That's a very good question. It's hard. You know, you have to give yourself a lot of pep talks, talk yourself through it. I think for me right now, because I'm in such a place in my life where things are changing, the only thing that I can control right now is the gym and my eating habits and my weight loss. So because I can control this, I try to stay consistent with it, and it really helps me to get a grip on something. You kind of rewire your brain to want it, to need it, to be your therapy. And it's a really great habit to have, because in the long run, you're going to benefit from it. It's all about rewiring your brain to want to escape into something that's good for you. Okay. I learned a lot about it. You know, it's crazy because just a little example, when you're in the gym, you learn how to use your stomach muscles for everything. I think naturally as humans, for some reason, when we lift something or when we move, we tend to use our back a lot. And that's why we have a lot of back problems when you get older, because you're always straining your back. But in the gym, you learn to use your stomach. You have to use your stomach for everything, your stomach and your legs. So it's like rewiring your brain. Now when I move and I walk, I try to always use my stomach muscles, and it takes a load off of your back, but it also builds abs. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm getting at? Rewiring your brain, but for something that's positive. In the long run, you want abs, okay? You don't want back pain. So that's how you trick your mind. You trick your brain into being obsessed with something that helps you through a tough situation. See it that way instead of a burden, instead of like, oh my gosh, I have to go again. Oh, I don't want to do that. I'm so tired. See it as I'm going to go and I'm going to manifest while I'm on cardio. I'm going to think about all the great things, put on some tunes. I mean, I go in there and I cannot wait to get on that elliptical. I be on that thing sweating, boy, but I'm in my head, like thinking of all the ideas, all the great things I want to do, all the achievements I'm gonna achieve, that I'm gonna do. And it's like powerful. I just know the people around me are like, damn, I can see you radiating. I can see your light. You know, I mean, they even told me before. So it's a good feeling. Would you share your diet? No money for nutritionists right now. You're motivating me. Yes, I will. You know, I have a very simple diet. I keep it simple. Right now I'm doing foods that are non-processed or the least processed possible, okay? Staying in a calorie deficit for my weight, and trying to eat as many whole foods as possible, mostly protein, vegetables, and fruits. That's pretty much it. I don't really eat more than that. I stick to those food groups. And again, calorie deficit, it's pretty simple. It's easy. It's not, I don't make it too difficult for me. If I deprive myself, if I say I'm keto or I'm vegan or I'm this or I'm that, I'm gonna fall and I'm gonna binge eat. So I rather I can eat pretty much anything I want, just stay in your calorie deficit and stick to whole foods for the majority of the time. I do have my cheat days. I go to Disneyland, I go to Coachella, I eat churros, hot dogs, I be eating all the things, but in moderation. I learned, again, healthy relationship with food. What fasting are you doing? That's a good question. I do a lot of fasts, and I think that fasts actually really help me. I love to fast because it really helps me lose weight. It helps me get my stomach in order. I have a very sensitive stomach. So sometimes when I go off to Disneyland and I eat corn dogs and churros, I come back the next day and my stomach is in shambles, boy. I get stomach aches, bloating, all the things. I have a very sensitive stomach. And again, that's one of the reasons why I wasn't able to take any Ozempic or any of those weight loss drugs, because of my stomach issues. So because of that, fasting is like a restart for me. When I fast, it restarts everything and kind of gets everything digested, and I just feel lighter and I feel back to one again. And it also helps me lose weight. It's actually not hard for me to fast. Even my good friend Amy tells me she doesn't know how I do it. She's seen me fast many times, and she's like, how do you do it? And I'm just like, it's just like, you have to just get it in your head. You have to get in your head that you're not going to eat. And for me, I choose hours where the majority of the time I'm sleeping, so that just cuts time there. Do I use a calorie counter? No, I don't. I just kind of like memorize it or use my phone, my notes, to just kind of know how many calories. To be honest, I kind of eat the same thing every day. I'm not going to lie to you. I am a creature of comfort. I love eating the same thing every day. I feel like if it's delicious and it works and I'm losing weight, why not? I have been eating the same breakfast for the last, I don't know, like almost 5 months, 6 months, and I'm not tired of it, which is my jammy eggs, my chicken sausage, and my toast. But yeah, that food, it's comforting, it's delicious. I eat it again almost every day. I try to eat the same foods often so that I'm not messing with my gut too, because remember, I have a sensitive stomach. So if I eat too many crazy things, my stomach will hurt and I'll regret it. Like last week on Sunday, this past Sunday, I had pizza. I treated myself and I had a stomach ache the next day. I actually fasted the next day because I was not feeling good. So I try my best to eat the same foods because it helps my gut stay regulated. Discipline tips. I mean, use it as fuel. Use whatever in your life isn't going the best and use it as fuel. You know, again, I said when you don't have control over things, but there's one thing you can control, and that's your gym, your eating habits, your accountability. Those are the things that you can control. So when you spin the block, when you switch your way of thinking into something like that for the positive, it really helps, you know, and it doesn't happen overnight. You have to consistently work at it. But then you get so in it that it's just like there's no other way. I want to hug myself 8 months ago and say, thank you for doing this. Thank you for starting. Thank you for being fearless. Thank you for going after it. Because if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be where I'm at. You know, I wouldn't be here right now. And I'm living the best time of my life. I'm not going to lie. It's a very challenging time, but it's one of the best times I've ever had in my life. And again, it's from staying consistent and staying accountable and being in control of my own life, my way. How long did it take to finally have a daily routine and exercise with meals? It took a while. You know, it was a lot of trial and error in the beginning. I wasn't calorie counting as much in the beginning. I was mostly just trying to eat healthier foods, trying to cut out processed foods. I'm not gonna lie, I was very depressed at the beginning of the start because that's when I separated from my ex. So I wasn't even eating. I was starving, I guess you could say. Not in a healthy way, in a really unhealthy way. It was depression, right? So it was a lot of that in the beginning. When I would go to the gym, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just doing cardio, like 30 minutes on the treadmill, light weights for 15 minutes. It was nothing, okay? And then little by little, I started to want to get better at learning about food. So I tried to cut out fruits and sugar, and it kind of worked. And then I cut out a lot of carbs, and it, you know, it would work. And then I would, you know, try things here and there. And ultimately, the thing that has worked the most is staying consistent in the gym with a trainer, or at least working out 2 hours a day. and calorie counting, being in a calorie deficit, and fasting. Those are the things that have worked the best. So anytime something would be okay and work, I would be like, okay, but it can be better, then I would just better it. And then when I found something that actually really worked and it was more streamlined, then that's when I would stick to it. So I would say don't stick to something right away. Try a few things out first and see what works for you and your lifestyle, and then that's how you'll know if it's going to work or not. How do you deal with the pain of going to the gym? I'm overweight and pain gets worse. Um, it depends what kind of pain you're talking about. If it's pain that, like, your feet hurt, maybe you're not wearing the right shoes, maybe you're overdoing it. You don't want to overdo it to where you're actually really in super pain. There's a different kind of pain, and there's also pain where it's like good pain, where it's like you're sore, you have sore muscles. That's a good pain. That means that you're working out the muscles and that they're growing and that you're going to get stronger. So there's different types of pain. You have to differentiate the type of pain you're in. In the beginning, when I first started working out with a trainer, I was in pain. Okay? It was mostly soreness and also my chest. I remember vividly the first few times I worked out with the trainer and she had me on cardio like I've never cardioed before. I remember getting in my car and being dizzy, wanting to throw up, and almost feeling like I got punched many times in my chest just from breathing so hard for so long. That when I would breathe in, it would almost be sore just from, being out of shape, And I just remember thinking like, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. And I just had tunnel vision, and eventually it gets better. Like, I shared recently on my stories that I started jogging, which is crazy. I can't even believe it. And to think, like, I used to get exhausted. Like, I used to feel like I was gonna pass out for if I just did 1 minute on a 15 incline on the treadmill, just walking very slow, like a 2.3. I would feel like I was gonna pass out. That to me was terribly hard. Okay. I'd be doing those 15 1-minute incline. I'd be doing 2 minutes without thinking. Me and the trainer are talking and she's like, do you know you just did 2 minutes on a 15 incline? And I'd be like, for real? And I'm like, oh yeah. Like nothing. I'm telling you, consistency is key. Use the pain as motivation. If it's soreness, use it as motivation. Okay. For like actual pain, like if you're really in pain, like for me, it was hard for me to find the right shoe to work out. I felt like my feet were always burning or my toes were always hurting because I was not wearing the right shoes. As a big girl, I recommend Hoka's. Hoka's are the best sneaker for big girls. I'm telling you right now, they have support. They don't hurt your feet. You actually glide better. You walk better. You work out better. I highly recommend Hoka's. I've tried everything. Nikes. I've tried all the shoes. Okay, all the trainers. I really do feel like Hoka's work the best. When did you start seeing results? You see results right away. You start to see results. Again, it doesn't always have to be physical. It can also just be mobile, like being more mobile, being able to do more. Every time I go to the gym, I do something better and better. I run a little faster. I lift a little heavier. I squat a little deeper. Every single time you go to the gym, it gets better. You see improvement right away. And that to me is light years better than just seeing it physically. Physically, it takes a little longer to see the improvement. I'm not gonna lie to you. Especially being a bigger girl, you don't see it right away. It takes time. I know people are like, wow, you lost 80 pounds, but you're still a big girl. I'm like, yeah, because I was a big girl. Big girls, we carry our weight differently. So it takes time, for you to really see the result. When you're a thinner person, you lose 10 pounds and you see a huge difference because you weigh less. So that makes sense. It's a percentage of your body that you're losing. So it does take time. I feel like for me, I didn't really see like wow results until like 50 pounds in. When I lost 50 pounds in, I was like, okay, now I see the results. I really can see it. My friends and my family were giving me compliments. But I know my body, and when I know that the next 30 pounds that I lose, I'm gonna see a huge difference. These next 30 pounds for my body type are crucial. And I can't even believe, like, I don't even know what I'm gonna look like when I lose another 50. Like, I've never been that fit before. but with like muscle and tone and definition. Like, I'm excited. Like, I can't wait. I've never seen myself that way before. Again, I've never been fit. So we'll see. How do you still go out and eat and not diet? I'm not on a diet. Again, this is a lifestyle change. I don't do well with diets. I don't do well with someone telling me you can't eat this, you can't eat that, you have to stick to this. I don't want to do that. If that's the case, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I love food. I love life. I love to live. And again, I can eat anything in moderation, anything in a calorie deficit. I allow myself to have cheat days or I go over my calorie deficit. Again, moderation. Just watch it. You know, you don't have to overdo it. You don't let one cheat day become 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And even if it does, it's okay. Start it all over again. Who cares? In the past 9 months, there's been like 2 months I can count for the 9 months that I stayed the same weight, that I didn't lose weight. And that was because I wasn't paying attention. I was still working out. I was still trying to be mindful of the food. I wasn't going over my calorie intake for the day, but I wasn't in a calorie deficit. I was just staying at my calorie max, and I was just kind of just living life because of, like, you know, life happens, right? But again, I would be mindful. I wouldn't overdo it. But at the same time, I just got right back up on the horse. I said, you know what? I didn't lose weight last month. I was disappointed, but then I said, you know, it's okay. I'm starting again now. And I have. And that's what you do. You just start over again. Don't beat yourself up. Don't restrict yourself too much, because then you won't follow suit. At least that's for me too. I can't over restrict myself. I have to be able to give myself treats every now and then. Do you have any loose skin? Are you going to get surgery? This is a very good question. I do have some loose skin on my arms and on my lower belly. You call it like an apron belly. I've had an apron belly for most of my adult life. I started to get one when I started to gain more weight when I was maybe like in mid-20s. The more weight that I gained, the bigger that my apron belly grew, and it's like hereditary. So some of my family members struggle with it also. So now that I'm getting smaller, I'm losing weight, but I still have the apron belly, and I have a feeling that that's where the majority of my loose skin is going to be. And it's kind of like the more stubborn part of my body that tends to lose weight slower, and it just, you know, gravity is gravity, so it's gonna pull everything down, girl. The boobies too, they look okay right now because they in this nice little tight bra, but when I take off the bra, deflation, you know, gravity, girl. So I do plan to get skin removal on my apron belly, and I do plan to get my boobs lifted. It's a goal that I have. Hopefully by the end of the year I can start working towards that. You know, I'm going to share that process with you. You know, I'm going to take you along the ride. You know, I want to document. So yes, once I start to get closer to my goal weight for surgery, I'll let you guys know, and I'll take you guys on the ride. I definitely am going to do that. I'm going to do the majority of the work in the gym. I know I remember telling my trainer when we first started that eventually I wanted to get a tummy tuck, and she was like, tummy tuck? You're not gonna need no tummy tuck. She's like, you're with me, baby. You're gonna have abs. She's like, you're just gonna need some skin removal, but you will not need a tummy tuck. You're gonna be tight. And I was like, you know what? Hell yeah. So I was like, okay, skin removal and titty lift it is. Let's do this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you are subscribed. I learned that over 50% of you guys are not subscribed to my channel. You guys just creeping up here, looking at this video and then piecing out. No. Please subscribe. Do me a favor. Show your girl some love, okay? I'm out here. I'm putting myself out here, and I want to do this for you. So let's do this together. So make sure you subscribe and follow for more.